Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 9th of November 2021. Before I start, I'd just like to say my last video about Davey and his personal experiences seems to have gone down very well. So I might consider doing more of those. And if you're interested, you can write me an email of your personal experiences with anything to do with the Lurgy or the Big V. Just write it down, email it to me. It doesn't necessarily have to be about what you've seen when you're out and about. You could be a care home worker facing losing your job in a couple of days. You could be a sort of a nurse or a doctor with things to say, or you could just be anyone really wanting to get things off your chest. So write me an email and pop it through. My email address, where you can either go to my website fairplaynow.net /contact, and that's, you can get hold of me through that, or you can just email me at tim@fairplaynow.net, and you can get through to me like that. So let us get on to a couple of items, one item of news, I guess, really. I noticed that I think it's Javid, that sort of weasel, is going on about how if we all get our boosters, we can save Christmas. And there's a lot of pushback on that. I've noticed that, it's not them or up to them to give us Christmas in the first place. So he certainly can't save it for us or take it away from us anyway. And I think really, I'm not going to dwell on it, because I think this really is their last hurrah. And it's a sign that they're getting desperate. Obviously, the take up on the booster isn't where they'd like it to be, which is why they're threatening, kind of lockdowns and taking new restrictions for Christmas. But I personally don't think it's going to happen. I think the narrative is collapsing all the time now in so many different places and in so many different ways. I've noticed that nightclubs in Scotland are getting around the whole V-Pass thing by simply removing their dance floors, so they don't have to ask people for their V-Passes. So that's looking like a disaster there up in Scotland as far as those things are concerned. And yeah, overall, I am pretty optimistic, and it's not just me. I know some of you guys have accused me of being a little bit overly optimistic, and my optimism is misplaced, but I don't think it is really. Yeah, I don't think it is misplaced, because there are other people feeling equally as optimistic as I am. And I think there is a lot of stuff happening now, and a lot of stuff will be happening shortly. And what I'll do is I'm going to leave you links to 3 videos, all on YouTube, so I can leave links both in the comment section below and in the description box below as well. So the first one is from Harry Thomas, who you might remember was the guy who came back from Brazil, and he was able to get round the nonsense of the prison hotels for 10 days just by exercising his common law rights, and he got out of that. And he has produced some fantastic content showing how he did that. But his latest video is just a really uplifting message full of hope and optimism. So I'll leave a link to that for you below. Second one is Mark Devlin's latest, and again he seems pretty optimistic. he doesn't think another lockdown is going to happen, even though they're kind of threatening this, and with the thing with the the booster, you have to have that, otherwise Christmas won't be happening. But he thinks that is just a load of bluster, because they can't just suddenly stop talking about the lurgy, because that will wake up the normies. They'll sort of turn around and go, oh, what's happened to all that lurgy business then? This thing that they were saying was so deadly, it just seems to have disappeared. So he is kind of saying, Mark Devlin was kind of saying, they've got to ramp it down rather than just sort of cutting it off dead like that. And yeah, that is my sort of gut feeling as well. But he can explain what he's talking about in a lot more detail. And he thinks that the powers that shouldn't be, or as one of my subscribers very wittily put it, the powers that are struggling to be. And I thought that was fantastic. So thank you to the subscriber who left that comment, because it really does seem like they are struggling now. So I will leave a link to Mark's latest video in the comment section and the description box below as well. And then the final one is, again, pretty much the latest video from Thomas Sheridan, in which he was, well, again, he seemed pretty optimistic, but he was saying, we have been under siege, really kind of attacked from all sides by all sorts of despicable people who really should know a lot better. But the whole thing's collapsing now, and the siege is going to be lifted before too long, and we can sort of look back upon this siege with as much pride, and the fact that we've held out against it with as much pride as sort of people who held out against the great sieges of history look back in pride, the occupants or defenders of Leningrad and Stalingrad, I guess, and places like that. And yeah, it's a hard battle, and we are going to come through it. We are going to survive, and we will come out with our heads held high and with a lot of pride. So hopefully that's been a little bit uplifting for you. And once you watch the 3 videos from Harry, Mark and Thomas, that should kind of boost your morale even more. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to bring out another video, hopefully today. It might go into tomorrow, early tomorrow now. We'll have to see how it goes. But I am doing a very interesting little project, and I'm going to tell you all about it very shortly. So sort of keep your eyes out for that video, but I'll leave it sort of here right now. Tim from Fairplay Now, thanks for watching.